Life is really goddamn nice. Imagine you were transported back 20,000 years into the past. I need to take a shit, you say. You plop down next to the nearest tree to do your business, only to realize that an entire tribe of cavemen are watching you. Bathrooms didn't exist, nor did toilet paper, nor did even the notion of privacy. So you take a shit in front of an audience and wipe your ass with a literal rock. You hungry? Oh. Take this 2-year-old maggot-infested piece of skunk meat that we found in the guts of a bear. You tired? Why don't you take a nice nap on the floor here? No, silly, you don't get your own room. We haven't invented walls yet. Bed? What's a bed? Pillow? Blanket? Sorry, those don't exist yet. But you can have a nice nap on this pile of dirt here. You want to call your wife? What's a call? What's a wife? This whole time, you're confiding in one of the cavemen. Look at that, you've made a friend. You say, hey buddy, wanna see something cool? You're a creepy weirdo, so you have some porn saved on your phone. And you decide to show your caveman friend what he's missing out on. He takes one glance and quite literally has an aneurysm and dies. Oh shit, I killed my only friend. Don't worry buddy, you'll be joining him soon, because what do you know, you have dysentery. The modern world is pretty incredible. At no point in the history of Earth has life ever been even remotely similar to what it's like now. It doesn't take much thought to realize that life has objectively gotten much, much better. We used to wipe our asses with fucking rocks. And now we have all these fancy little things like memes and TVs and spaceships and anime. Stuff like this didn't even come close to existing in Earth's history until recently. A regular supply of food and water used to be more than anybody could even dream of, and now we have all these lovely things. We've broken past striving for what's necessary, and now we have the luxury of being able to do what we want. It's genuinely amazing, and it's worth a lot more than we give it credit for. What the fuck is that? Life is objectively nicer now than it has ever been before, and yet somehow, mental health issues have never been more prominent. Back when we were still discovering that we probably shouldn't use poison ivy as underwear, acts such as self-harm or suicide were practically unheard of. One of, if not the first recorded suicide was around 1500 to 1400 BCE, in which 2 brothers killed themselves. Despite the fact that life was pretty terrible back then compared to what it is now, suicide was an alien concept back then. But now, we have grown all too familiar with it. I have an unsettling fact for you. According to the World Health Organization, it's estimated that over 700,000 people kill themselves annually. They also state that for every successful suicide, there's likely to be 20 other people who attempt to take their own life. And the worst part is, the numbers are growing. There seems to be a correlation between the advance of technology and the decline of mental health. As life gets easier, happiness becomes more scarce, and this fact haunts humanity, especially the younger generations. We are clearly missing a key piece of this heartbreaking puzzle, for something drastic has to be wrong in order for nearly 1 million people to take their own lives every year. What is it? What is this piece? Is it a lifestyle issue? A social issue? A mindset issue? Is it school? Is it work? Is it money? Is it politics? Is it the fact that you get no bitches? Are rubber ducks making everybody depressed? Depression is unquestionably running rampant, and it must be stopped. People feeling that their lives are so meaningless that they aren't worth savoring every moment of is a concept that is truly tragic. Meaning is everything. Meaning is purpose, and without purpose, there is no point in anything. Therefore, the loss of meaning is the most terrible tragedy that humanity has ever seen. Jesus Christ. Hi, hello, and welcome to BonaVida, where we talk about everything from depression to wiping your ass with a rock. Although in this video I'm going to talk about neither. I'm instead just here to tell you what the point of this channel is. BonaVida roughly translates to good life in Italian, and Latin, and whatever the hell this is, and probably more languages too. Unfortunately, we have the same name as this coffee maker, well, almost, this pet store which I think is dead, and the song by Flashy Ice Cream. I'm not the best with languages, but I think that's Chinese. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about happiness. Happiness is a strange thing. According to Google, happiness is the state of being happy. Fuck you, Google. According to Google, happy is feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. This is obviously true, but I think it goes much, much deeper than that. In fact, I think that it goes so deep to the point where it touches upon the question that makes edgy teenagers all over the world have an existential crisis. What is the meaning of life? Happiness is the underlying motivation for any living thing to do anything. Whether it's feeding your family or climbing Mount Everest or cock and ball torture, happiness is the motivation for everything. Even if the action you are currently doing is not making you happy, it is either for your happiness in the future or the happiness of someone else. I believe that happiness is the meaning behind all actions. And if happiness is the meaning of anything anybody does, then happiness could very well be the meaning of life itself. I'm well aware that the logic isn't perfect and that I'm young and stupid, but this little epiphany I had has changed the course of my life and was the reason for the birth of this channel. Even if I am wrong, the idea doesn't hurt anyone. I think everybody could benefit from prioritizing long-term happiness. Either way, I have convinced myself that happiness is the meaning of life, and I want to do everything in my power to make the world a happier place. For if it is the meaning of life, I feel that there is no better purpose for me to give myself than to share my insights and try to make the world a little happier. No matter how small of a difference I make, I will try my very best to improve the lives of anybody I can. That is the point of this channel. Here's my story with depression. In 2020, around 6 months into quarantine, my life had turned completely upside down. What used to be a happy, healthy life had turned into one that would have made Ethan Klein feel ashamed. My life consisted of waking up, maybe eating a breakfast of microwave pizza, playing a hell of a lot of video games, and mindlessly scrolling through YouTube shorts until my brain started falling out of my goddamn ears. Needless to say, I got very depressed. It's important to note that my depression was a result of my choices, not the other way around. However, I didn't see it that way. I thought that I was just given a bad hand in life. I thought that my luck had simply run out. I developed anxiety. I became more restless and irritable, and my mood swung drastically. I began to socially isolate, and for all of these things, I couldn't even tell why they were happening. Here's a fun story from that time in my life. One day, I was given an opportunity to meet with an old friend, a girl who I wanted to impress. I think it's safe to say I didn't just bomb it. I caused a nuclear fucking winter. When I got home, I wasn't just sad or defeated. I was perplexed. Just a few months ago, before quarantine, my social life seemed basically perfect to me. I had everything I wanted, and I was happy. Every social interaction I had left a smile on my face and the face of whoever I was talking to. But now, seemingly all of a sudden, just 6 months later, I couldn't even look a girl in the eyes. I stared into the mirror, asking myself why I was like this. Why is my face so fat? Why did I lose so many friends? Why can't I talk to people anymore? Why are people's eyes so intimidating that I can't even bear to look at them, despite the fact that they are staring directly at me? The few remnants of happiness I had left had disappeared, and with them faded my purpose in life. I became a husk of a man, and I no longer cared to live. I lived like that for more than a year. It was pathetic. I didn't know that life was not supposed to be that miserable. I thought it was normal. I thought happiness was unattainable, and I thought nobody was happy. I remember one night talking to a friend of mine, and I asked him how I felt about life. And he said he loved it, and he was happy. Just the notion of someone having a happy life was bewildering to me. I didn't even believe him because I thought everybody was just as miserable as I was. I wasn't able to realize that my depression was completely my fault. I'm not saying that if you're depressed, it's always your fault. Sometimes life really does just take a shit on your face and there's nothing you could have done about it. However, for a lot of people, like me when I was depressed, it really is because of your actions. But once you realize that you are the way you are because of you, you're a million times more likely to be able to change the way you are, because you know that it all stems from you. Are you sad all the time? Do you pity yourself? Do you envy other people? Do you feel that there is no hope for a better life? Do you constantly consider yourself unlucky? Are you stuck in the past? Are you stuck in the future? Does life mean anything to you? Do you have a purpose in life? These are just a few of the questions you have to ask yourself in determining if your life truly needs to change. The question of meaning and purpose are especially important, for he who has a why can bear any how. If you stick around this channel and actually heed my advice and really think about what I have to say, then your life will genuinely change. Over time, you will realize that you are the fucking chosen one. The world is your oyster. You really can do anything. And life is actually pretty nice. Whether you've noticed it or not, many aspects of modern life promote a lifestyle and mindset that is detrimental for achieving genuine long-term happiness. It kills your confidence. Your ambitions become nothing more than little happy thoughts that you never act upon. And worst of all, it destroys your self-worth. Just last week, I asked a friend what their plans for the future were, and they said that they didn't plan on living past 25. Last fucking week. Their plans were quite literally to finish school and die. They don't even like school. They just don't care to live to see what's after it, because they see no meaning in it. I asked them if there's any meaning in life, and if there's any meaning in their life specifically. And they said there's no point in pondering questions like that. That is a massive problem. No fucking shit they don't believe there's any reason to live past 25. They've never been taught to think about such questions. If they've never been taught to find a reason to live, they won't want to fucking live. Trained like machines and thrown to the world to go do the work that someone else wants them to do. Put like that, it makes sense that people are starting to stop seeing a reason to live. It's a catastrophe, but that is what I'm here for. That is what this channel is for. I hate that people think like this, and I hate that nobody's really doing anything about it. So please, join me, and we will fight against the depressing atmosphere of the modern world, and we will bring back happiness. That was a lot. From now on, I'll try to be more fun about this stuff, but I needed your attention. Or I won't, depends on what I'm talking about. I do think that my generation, which is Gen Z if you didn't pick that up, was kind of set up for failure. And while I'm sure not all of us were like sad old 2020 me, I know some of you are. And to those of you who are, I'm not going to tell you that it gets better or something, because I know that's not always true. But it fucking will be if you stick around and are willing to listen and actually act upon my advice. The hard work it takes to better yourself will have to come from you, but I am here to guide you every step of the way. So please, if you are in a state where you're unsatisfied with your life or something along those lines, subscribe or something. We all can make it, we just need to put in the work, and a little guidance goes a long way. So yeah, if you want, stay tuned. If not, fuck off and have a nice day, y'all.